they provided Taiwan and everybody in all them Asian countries money because of COVID. Had they reimbursed America or anybody else? No. And that's another thing that you're going to be bringing up is about the BLM. But the WHO has never reconciled nobody else, and they have so much money. And then they keep that guy appointed. He's still in charge of WHO, and it's just like, why?
He's been there for what, 12 years?
Yeah, and
13?
He's still there, and he's the one that started all this against COVID-19 and the variants. So,
now, the copyrights were not wanting to be sued. We will not mention his name.
I
In case
said
y'all are
who.
wondering, the president of WHO. We're not going to mention
I
his
know.
name.
That's what I looked at you. But, yeah. Well, they all know what he looks like, so.
Yeah, you guys can Google it.
But it's just, America is still one of the greatest countries in the world. And there's a lot of factors up and say, well, you know, but there's going to be a lot of disagreements.
I have to stop you on that one there. I really do. And I'm sorry. I know you're getting mad at me because you do every time I bring it up. But we were the greatest country in the world. We had 4 years of it where we weren't controlled by government. We were free. But beyond, before those 4 years, and now here we are again, we are no longer the greatest country in the world. I'm sorry, we're not.
We are, but we ain't. I mean, it's just one of them deals. And then, like he said, he's going to get mad at me. But if we were free, you still wouldn't get taxed for 4 years. But you were still taxed out of your paycheck. And all them taxes, and it's just like anybody owed. Don't get out that, just don't take this wrong way, but it's just like everybody was taxed. If anybody owed anybody to the IRS or their ex-spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever it was, they still got all that taken out to pay all the bills. Child support, if it was from child support to medical to lifestyle, nobody was really free. Right. We were free, but not really free.
And you're right. I'm going to get mad at you, but I'm not going to get mad at you too, because you're also right where I was going on this. Taxes, yes. What pissed me off about the damn taxes, they don't go where they fucking need to be. Let me tell you this, folks, right the fuck now. Right the fuck now. You know, I hope the government's fucking listening to this shit. Honestly, if there's a tax right now that I would pay and I'd be happy to fucking pay it, when our boys come back home from overseas, let's have a tax to where their house is fucking paid for. I would have to put my fucking tax money on that shit.
And I agree with you on that. But it's not like
their taxes, their light and water bill is paid for. They don't have to worry about it. Now, if they want to get a phone, internet, whatever, that they can put that on their own pocket. Let's pay for the fucking housing. They fought for this shit. They fought for fucking freedom.
And they don't. And they do support veterans like myself, but they don't. And then what's guaranteed ain't guaranteed. Let me tell you that. Politicians will sit there and say it's guaranteed, and it's not.
You know, a touchy subject for me is the VA.
Yeah.
You know, I hate the VA.
But,
I hate them.
But
you're going to have a person that defends our fucking country, man, woman, child, son, daughter, husband, wife, wait to get medical help? No, motherfucker. No, that's automatic. Jump the fucking front of the line. And our VA will drag them to the fucking dirt and let them wait, what, 6, 7 years? 12 years?
It's more like right now, they're waiting 9, 10 years for anything. And that's why, I mean, like with me and some of my brethren are with the VA, and I'm with the VA, I'm the same boat you are, but it's just like, you allow for this person, but not that person, or whatever.
And folks, this is something we are very fucking passionate about. We are making inroads into it. I would like to say we talked to Trump and he made the VA bill, but that didn't happen.
You know, and it takes like with COVID hit, that's like a Quincy and up there at Alton and stuff here.
The Legionnaires' disease.
Legionnaires' disease is what it's called. And then with COVID, and it's just like, no. And so they're getting progress, but it takes stuff like that, and it shouldn't, for protection against people that served before me, that's serving now that I'm retired, but they're still serving, or people that serve after me. It's just not right.
And we will expand more on this. We do have the Veterans Day episode coming up.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. There's also Flag Day. Definitely doing a blowout on the 4th of July. Definitely.
Yeah.
Speaking of all this fucking freedom, everything going around right now, the People's Convoy. How do you feel about that?
I think it's a great thing because, like here in the United States, we did not stop it where they started, and they got to finish. Unlike Canada, which is one of our allies, they had to stop it. And I could see it because it was due with trading and we weren't getting supplies, but a lot of the supplies that we had are still on ships out in the middle of the fucking ocean. So it's just like, wow, because we couldn't, because a lot of the ships that are out in the sea right now, waiting to get unloaded, our truckers deliver. And that's one of the big
but
things.
now does that stand? It's not the truckers' fault. They're there, I'm sure, waiting to
Oh,
get
yeah.
loaded. But people right now, and I'm sorry, I will call you people out right now, where you're waiting for your government assistance to come in. Okay, we're waiting for shit to be shipped in. Go get a job. They're out there hauling for you to go to work.
But they don't, and then like a lot of big corporate people. I mean, there's local places that are in your small town or in your county that are paying good jobs, but people don't want to get out and get it, and that's the way it is. Like with truckers, our truckers, because they're paying truckers really good fucking money, but they don't want to go drive a truck. That's too hard. But they don't want to go flip fries for 6 hours. You're standing there at a fucking fryer just flipping fries. That's all you're doing. I understand it's work and you're sweating and whatever, but hello, and then you don't want to go drive a truck that's paying 3 times the money, but you're still home.
That does vary though, because not a lot of truckers. If you're going cross country, you make
it
a decent rate.
Yeah, you do. But
I want to give a shout out here real quick to my Uncle Denny. He does travel cross country, but even he will tell you, I do cross country, but my rate, it's junk to what the fuck I do.
But I mean, it all depends on your experience and stuff. Yes, it does. I mean, and that's another thing. Let's say if he was never a trucker before, he went to go to apply, he wouldn't be getting what Uncle Denny's getting. But he still has a job. He's still getting paid. Stuff's still getting delivered. But then yet there's people that don't want to go out and do that, and that's one reason why there's a slow progress.
Which I do believe. I totally believe with you. Yeah, most of this country right now is sitting back wanting to collect that Democratic check, as I call it. That's my opinion. Don't get mad at me. Actually, do get mad at me. I don't care. I'll give you your shit back. But yeah, it's a Democratic fucking check they're waiting on. They'll be happy to give a handout. Don't give it to me. No, go out there and fucking work. And you got these truckers that are busting their ass. I went down to Vegas for my daughter's 21st birthday. On my way there, I ran across 3 truckers that couldn't get trailer in line. I'm not saying that it's the trucker's fault. No. What I am saying this, when I see that, I have traveled cross country many fucking times. These motherfuckers are being overworked. They're being overworked. Their company is pushing them to meet the supply and demand. They need more help, people. They need more help.
They do.
I really feel for our trucking community and the People's Convoy. Keep it rocking. Stranglehold DC, although have you met our Congress? I'm just saying, I really don't think a stranglehold in DC is going to do much of a difference, but hey, more power to you. We do support you. We really do. Or at least I do.
Well, we both do.
I know she went a little quiet the other way.
Hey, you were talking, so.
But yeah. Damn, one of the things we really don't touch on a lot here, we touch on it, but like we don't talk about it. But let's talk about it. Race and hate in this fucking country.
No, it's terrible.
It is fucking dirty. What, you got defund the police movement now.
Yeah.
We have Black Lives Matter, and you actually showed me a video. Now, if you people haven't seen it,
I can bring it up. My phone's over here.
Well, I don't want to do that, copyright issues. But
well, no,
if you can
no
tell them where, if you
want
to go, tell them where to go to. Black Lives Matter. What they're holding.
Go to the web. Yeah, go to the website, BLLivesMatter.com, or just look it up on like Fox News. Yeah, it shows for the last 2 months they went from embezzling $60 million to $90 million, and they don't know where the money has went.
Well, what, last year you said they're at 16. They had 16 million in the bank, now they're up to 90. Something like that. I'll tell you another video.
Well, I can't. On the phone. I deleted it twice. So you wanted to pause.
Oh, no, guys. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that there. We had a little bit of cellular difficulties there. Had a little shortage there for a quick second there. So we were talking about Black Lives Matter, apparently. Apparently,
what are you looking at me for? Because you're the one that left the conversation.
Hey, I'm just saying, all lives
Oh,
matter.
and don't worry about that noise you just heard. That's just the lion in the kitchen.
That's our little cat. She's
a liar,
yeah.
and her name's Virginia. And anyway, all joking aside, sir.
But no, seriously, we were talking about Black Lives Matter.
We were. So.
And we were talking about the embezzlement issue, I do believe. I think that's
Yes.
where they were at. Yes, they pulled in what you said, $1,690 million.
Okay. If people have been watching the news, if it's your local news or if it's one of the bigger news programs, in 2020, this is 2022, but in 2020 when George Floyd got killed, and that's another topic another day. But anyway, they raised almost $30 million just in 2020. But this Black Lives Matter, and they added a couple others to that because they also represent lesbians and gays and so forth. But anyway, they started in 2013. So anyway, in 2020 they had $30 million, and they raised a few million to get that far. Well, in 2021, they started getting investigated early in the year, and it was up to $60 million, just a little over that.
And if you guys don't believe us, for all you fact checkers out there, I do believe
Fox
News.
Yes, Fox News. That broke it? And CNN broke on it as well.
Yeah, and CNN. For you liberals out there, and your Democrats, yeah, CNN said the same shit.
Yeah, but also it's on your local and in other news programs as well. Now it's up to $90 million this year, and several of the CEOs and the bigwigs have resigned from that position because nobody in the black community was receiving any funds. A few have, yes, but not everybody like they promised.
Now, to clarify for you people, this is what POPs means. They're supposed to raise this money so when a person of color gets arrested, they can pay for an attorney. And yes. They are not doing that. And people want to know where the fuck that money is going.
Yes. And it's been, a lot of money's been embezzled. They're not paying taxes. They haven't paid taxes in close to 5 years. Yeah, I mean, you can Google it. Google it, people. Black Lives Matter organization or Black Lives Matter benefits or whatever. However you put the fourth word in, Google it. Black Lives Matter, and then whatever after that.
Now, I have a question for you. It's probably going to piss a bunch of... It might piss a bunch of our viewers off, but I'm going to ask this question anyway. Now, if you were a colored person, and you... I'm called a person, did you hear that? Sorry. If you're going to rally around a banner, and they're still going to embezzle your money, and you're still going to rally around that banner... Now, as a white folk, we would cut them off in a heartbeat and call them out on their bullshit. Wouldn't we have? And people are still like, oh, nobody could have done that to us. They're the same color as us. Bullshit. It's been going on like this, and I'm just telling people, and if it calls me a racist, that's fine, but this has been going on since Martin Luther King led his protest. Before the bus riders and everybody else, this was going on before that. Now, I mean, we can discuss this at a later date, but every person, I'm just going to tell people, because I served with black people, and the best black people I've known in my life. I am not a racist. But let me tell you what, though. I've heard people I've served with under my command, and people I was in boot camp with, that were black. And they even called their own kind, now that's a fucking nigger for you. And if they want to believe this from this tube, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that. And I have black friends that'll say the same thing. I'm just saying, though, between a nigga and a nigga. But people. And the difference is how the hell they act. I'm sorry, I'm so blunt, but it's the truth. And there's good and black people. There's good white and bad white. It's for every race in this whole world. It's like that now these days. And this is a friend of mine, and the person that's shooting us this is a good friend of mine. But I can tell you right now... Yeah, but didn't mention enough, folks. I'm so happy to have my cousin. He's going to grip me a new one here. Itachi Uchiha. He's on PlayStation. Look him up. He is awesome.
It's Itachi Uchiha.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
You did. But anyway, it's just, I've heard it's going to go like this on forever till every race is out.
Actually,
It's
I
gonna
think
go
just
like this
until we
forever.
quit talking about it, really, right?
Huh?
Until we quit talking about
Well,
it.
now,
It should
I
no
mean,
longer be a race, just a human being.
everybody has everybody has an equal right. If you're white, you're black, you're Mexican, you're Cuban. If you're from Italy, you're an Italian. If you're Polish, if you're a Jew, whatever. Everybody has the same rights. Yeah, every country runs how they want to do it. But when you come here to America, everybody has a liberal same act as the next person. But I mean, not everybody.
But they
you
don't
have
get to come over and just to be granted it, do
But
they?
no, but I mean, there's people from they work for it.
Because a bunch of years out there just did that. So they're entitled to it. No, that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying,
Not
folks.
everybody's entitled to it right away. But it's just like white folk and black folk have been here the longest. But I'm going to bring up a point. The American Indian, no matter what tribe you were, the whites took it from the Indians. So the blacks want to sit there and say we're taking rights from them. That's not true. Yes, the white man had brought blacks over for slavery. But then when Lincoln got in the office and they had rights when they were slaves, they had rights after they got exonerated from that lifestyle, they still had rights. Yes, they had to go through a lot of endurance to get that. But it depends on what region you were in, still they had rights. And it's just...
And the reason why Abraham Lincoln freed the blacks, I'm sorry if you guys are so miscued, but here's the reason why. The South was kicking his ass so goddamn bad. He said, come fight for me. You serve, you're free.
Yeah.
Because he was getting his ass kicked. He needed more men.
And he was paying them, so...
Yes, he was.
But also, I'm just saying, though, just like when people say, oh, well, you know, white people got something wrong with the brother. They got something wrong with the nigger. They got some... What? No, not every white person is like that. And it's just like the 3 guys that just got recently convicted on federal charges, and then they acquitted them to go on state charges, and they went back on federal, so now they got to serve all this time. I mean, yeah, video shows the guy wasn't robbing nothing, but then yet it shows on other videos, they only wanted to show you what they wanted you to believe on that.
That's why we call it fake news, Pops.
I know, but I'm just saying, though, it's just in the long run, the guy was not on drugs or nothing. But then yet he had been seen on camera stealing things, and it was proven that he, you know, but they did, and they were in danger, but it just, anyway, I could see the point. I don't want to drag it out, but I see the point. But then also, on the other hand, they say, well, white cops and mayors and whatever don't care about the black person. That's not true. That is not true. Because it's not... It's not true because, oh, I'm sorry, that this little corner of your town in this state, in that county, there's white people. You go to the next county over, there's more black people. It's just how people live, where they want to live at, where they want to go. But when there's a black person killed from this county, in that state, that's what I was talking about. They don't get they get the news and everything, but
and then all of a sudden become a demographic.
Yes, but
we hear this a lot, guys. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
But we hear this a lot. Pay attention to the upcoming elections. Any election whatsoever, whether it's the midterms or the presidential, it's does he have enough to win the black vote? Does he have enough to win the Mexican vote? Does he have enough to win the women's vote? Wait, white isn't enough just to win the fucking vote. Why do we have to segregate? We are better than this. We are better than this. We are supposed to be the first country, the only country, the most powerful fucking country. But yet here we are talking about segregation and bullshit. Fuck that.
And you know, like you remember George Wallace?
Yes, I do.
You remember George? Okay, well, George Wallace, he was all against segregation in that first call. Did you see it in the movie Forrest Gump? People have been taught about it, whatever you learned about it. But if you watch Forrest Gump, they play clips from that from JFK era, and it's there. But let me tell you, just because one man put you down because he doesn't want that school or whatever, every place in that state allowed segregation besides that college. But this is another thing that Americans need to look at, because when they have one man that's in politics that holds an office, that does not represent every white American in this goddamn country. It don't.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that there is a pet peeve of mine.
Oh, I know. So we're going to move on a little
bit. We look at it. Someone says something and go, "Oh, well, that's you. That's not me." Well, what the fuck does that make me from you? What the fuck's different?
Yeah.
Well, it's the color. It's this. That's a fucking pet peeve of mine. It's bullshit, fucking crap.
Even though we're on pet peeves, but that's the same thing with BLM. But everybody puts, even though it has nothing to do with that, you can move on to something else. Well, the grocery store lady said, "Oh, well, I pissed her off because I didn't give her a smile." Whatever it was. She could be white, just like you are, and me, and everybody else. Well, they're not a cat person. They only like dogs. So they're the meanest people in the world.
Well,
that's what I'm
like
saying.
shit, they treat you like shit as it comes to the damn line.
It's pet peeves. Everybody's got to judge on somebody.
Like my number one pet peeve, people, I am in the field. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Customer service. I'm in the customer service field. All right. I do not get paid enough to do with your bullshit. I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Don't take it on me.
That's why
I'm going to smile at you and hope that what I did for you is going to help you out.
That's why there's condom machines in the bathroom.
Look, I invented that. That was my invention.
No, but like this in this situation, it's all serious. But every once in a while, people got to look at the light side of things, no matter who's.
Definitely.
There's a lot of pet peeves. Well, that's like he was just talking about. He's in the customer service. He works at this place. That's like people on the phone. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to deal with it. Even though
anyway,
you don't see you in person.
That person's going to bitch at you because their bill was late, or they got to pay it overdraft free or whatever. Don't take it on the person. It's not their fault. Corporate writes the rules. We don't. Go bitch your corporate. Like I had a person call in going, "You need to raise the price of gas." I told them, "Look, we're just the gas station. It's the gas companies."
Well, not all of them. Not all of them.
Maybe not, but I can tell you this much though.
Oh,
I can tell you this much though. And we are going to elaborate more on this. We are going to elaborate more in the next episode, people, on the price of inflation. But I will say this. You're going to call up and bitch about the damn gas? Stop fucking driving. If everyone in America drops their fucking car and now parks in their goddamn driveway, do it for a fucking day, okay? There's 15 billion of us in this fucking country, all right? Park your fucking car.
And as many of them, and another thing is a pet peeve of mine, it might be of yours, and it might be of Beaver Cleaver that's holding the camera, but, the green...
You have one job, quit laughing, hold the camera steady.
The green thing, eco-green, green clean, it's the way to run the world. That's a pet peeve of mine, because it's just like, okay, so the president says this, everything's going good. I said, motherfucker, let me tell you what, you're driving a fucking Suburban or that Cadillac that's hauling your ass all over and it's not even fucking green approved. It's got all that weight, but he wants to preach about this. That's a pet peeve of mine. People
I was really hoping you go more into it though. How do they charge the motherfucker? Where does that energy come from?
We're paying for it. Taxpayers paying for it.
Coal.
Well, I know.
Coal
I'm just saying,
charges your fucking green car.
But he don't drive green cars. They don't. Not the White House.
Biden. He just kind of hobbles along behind a stroller with a little pacifier.
But it's just, that's a pet peeve of mine. If it's a president or if it's just a blow Joe, breakfast with, seriously, it's going to make an impact, but not everybody's going to be driving a chargeable car.
No.
If you have to plug it in, or if it's whatever. If that's a pet peeve of mine,
okay.
I said,
you hit a really good note there. If you guys pay attention to this shit, look at Telsa. Go ahead and Google it. It's there. Look at a few videos on YouTube. The guy just wants to go 15 miles. He can't even charge his car enough. Can't even find a charger for his car where he can go 15 miles before it dies.
Because you know where they all went. They went to his little space shuttle.
No, it's because Tesla has it to where it's only spaced out for certain areas.
I know, but...
So, Biden, sorry, your Green New Deal, good job. Not working.
It's not good. That's a pet peeve of mine. I mean, we're talking about pet peeves. It's one thing, you know, people say all about all this stuff. Hey, it's his show, so he can go on. That's what I had to say.
Yeah, guys, we're going to cut it here, but thank you very much for paying attention. Oh, shit.
Actually, I do have something.
Here's the man behind the camera.
I always hear about the emissions and all this. However, I can't remember where it's at. I'd have to fact check it. But there's a volcano, an active volcano, that produces more than us. What emissions we produce, all humanity, in one day, or in 1 year, this volcano produces 10 times that in one day.
Do you know why?
Actually, I do not know. However,